Alrighty guys, we are back and wanted to talk about my game plan again. So like I said, I mentioned, gonna save up, try to get a little country property. Could be a little rundown house, whatever. Preferably no close neighbors and enough room for me to drop down a Amish built shed. I'm gonna have to buy an Amish shed that you see a lot of off-gridders and homesteaders live in. Those I'm gonna try to get the larger one, put it on the property, convert it, make it livable, completely off the grid, and then I'm gonna rent out the main house as another income to help pay off, you know, the house or mortgage or whatever I gotta do in order to get that property. And that is the game plan, guys. Charge like somebody $2,000 or $1,500 to rent a month in there, pay for everything plus utilities, and I'll be on the property away from the house, obviously, in the Amish shed, living off the grid, doing my own thing. And that is my game plan for the future, because the future looks grim unless we get some real change going on in government, and I think it's coming. I'd like to personally thank all the people who voted the bonehead in. You know who I'm talking about, Joe Biden and Trudeau. You have to sleep in the bed you made now, guys. The economy sucks. The world sucks. Inflation, high gas prices, high food prices, high living prices, cost of living, and it's only going to get worse. And you guys voted for that shit because you're unaware of what's going on. You think the Democrats are great when they're the fucking devil, and you are brain dead, brainwashed and brain dead at the same time. Now, not to mention they had to steal it from Trump, because if Trump was able to, well, he was elected because they had to stop the voting. That when they stopped the voting the night of the election, which has never been done before, he won in all categories. But then, we gotta let all these mail-in ballots in, and then you saw the fraud just shoot right up, and that's how they got that shit in there, the bonehead in there, Mr. Dementia pedophile patient in there, and now you're getting what you deserve. You think he's running the show, guys? If you really think that, you're stupider than you look, okay? The dude's reading teleprompters and he can hardly comprehend when to stop. There's so many occasions where he reads the teleprompter and it says end of message, and he reads that, or stop here, or whatever. And he's going around shitting himself in front of world powers like in the UK for their little get together. Meanwhile, nobody's wearing a mask. So it's pretty funny. It is sad and funny at the same time. But they had to get rid of Trump, guys, because think about it. If Trump stayed in power, none of this shit would have went through. Trump would have said, Trump would have gave everybody the big F you and said, no, we're not doing mandates, we're not doing lockdowns, that shit's over, and that's the end of it. Because obviously it doesn't work, and it's still not working, because guess what? They left the airplanes flying throughout the entire pandemic. And how do you think these fucking viruses are getting into the country, guys? I'm gonna repeat this again so you might have a clue. They left international air travel going and national air travel going throughout the entire pandemic. Now, if I was somebody in power with brains, you'd think he'd know how the shit is traveling into the country, right? And there's always the land border, but guess what? The land border, you know, there's only so many international countries here in North America that can cross the land border. So you can kind of narrow shit down as to where stuff's coming in from. But once you get off a plane in an airport with that crowd of people, you think this shit's spreading like a bitch? You better believe it. Every which way in the world. Now, the next thing, masks. If they worked, do you really think we'd be into wave 5, wave 4, wave 100, and all this horse shit? No, they never work from the start, and they still don't. I don't understand why the scientific community doesn't fall in line. But the virus guys, you know, the sickness going on, the size of it is a lot smaller than the fabric of any mask you wear, unless you're wearing a full-on tank respirator. That's a sealed system. Okay? This is 101 basics. And I've been saying this forever. Now, when I go grocery shopping, I have to conform like a good little slave, put my mask on, get my stuff, and get the hell out of there as quickly as I can. And that's what I do. But it's ridiculous because it does absolutely nothing. And you don't see me out here walking with a mask on. That's a big F you to that. So I love my video chats here. I get to vent to the public about all the crazy twilight zone that we're living in. So those masks and shots are really working well, eh guys? They're talking boosters now because why need a booster if they work? Oh, that's because they don't work and they're not a vaccine, they're a gene therapy, which which you guys are going to find out shortly what does to your body long term if you got the shot. Now, fortunately, I don't know this for sure, but I'm going to assume my Rick Simpson oil that I've been treating my parents with from the get-go is going to keep them going and keep them fine. Obviously doesn't work for urinary tract infections because my dad's experiencing that now and has to treat it with antibiotics, but pretty crazy. Anyway, they did labs on him anyway, so they'll check it all out and see if it's anything else. But I'm hoping the Rick Simpson oil keeps my family, my brother, my parents, and anybody else who took my advice and made their own safe and happy from the shots, okay? So that is the story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm taking it as a preventative of all kinds of stuff, like diabetes, like cancer, like other things. However, the latest batch I made, I made those new concentrate videos where the coconut oil looks pretty green, and I mixed in different little, well, I made it a little, it's pretty potent, and I made it a little too strong for my liking. I'll put it that way. So I might have to go back to the white stuff and then just get some, just put a little bit of the dropper in of each, go from there. Yeah, it's just incredible. But anyways, what else is going on? I've been living, a lot of my friends have been asking what I've been up to because they don't see me. They don't see me anymore, and I don't blame them to ask what's going on. But I've been kind of basically a shut-in going hermit style a little bit during all this, because you know, cases are up in our area, and you know me, I'm taking my precautions. Mind the wind, guys. I can't do anything about that. But I've been basically working, coming home, and rarely going out for either groceries or food, and that's it. And that's why my friends don't see me anymore, because that's the way it is till shit gets under control, and I don't think it ever will. I'm very convinced we're all gonna have to just get the Rona, get over it, beat it naturally, and that's it. But if you have your jabs and you get the Rona and you beat it, the problem with that is there's going to be a lot of issues, because that means you still have to get the shots in order to have your passport and all that horse shit. So it's a little bit crazy. Just a second here. See all my live daily content. Become a Patreon member. Click on the link on my YouTube channel at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Click on support this channel. It'll take you to the Off-Grid Tiny House page on Patreon, or you can just Google it. Sign up and join in. Thank you.